I took a quick look through these documents before the trial started. Well, I wasn't even afforded an opportunity to skim it. I suppose I should explain it to you then. Yes, you should, perfectly in its entirety, if you please. On the night of September 8th, the embassy staff member was killed in front of the embassy. The staff member died of shock due to being shot in the heart. Mac Vrell was brought in the night as a suspect and thoroughly questioned, because the murder weapon was found on him, for which he was arrested on the spot. A simpleton of a man, that's what he was. Perhaps he was, for the weapon wasn't the only incriminating evidence we had. Mr. Vrell was caught in the act on film by a security camera. He was an even bigger simpleton than I thought. I can't believe he didn't notice a security camera. The embassy's security system is supposedly well designed. He may have simply not been aware that there was a camera in the area. So have you seen the contents of the video for yourself? Yeah, the surveillance video the security camera took was played during the trial by Mr. Faraday. You can clearly identify Mr. Vrell on it, even the sound of the gunshot was crystal clear. So the footage included sound, huh? I don't think I'd ever want to see the moment of someone's death in real life. Me neither. I mean, that's slam dunk case. Slam fucking dunk. It's the knife that was used to kill Mr. Faraday. Who would have thought that such a beautiful piece of art could be used for such a cruel act? And it's never crossed your mind that if you use your riding crop for the wrong purpose. That's on. What is it? Mr. Faraday didn't mention anything about a knife in his organizer. That certainly is odd. The weapon that was used to kill the embassy staff member was the gun. But if that's the case, then where did the knife that was used to murder Mr. Faraday come from? Is it obvious it was brought into the courthouse by Mr. Vrell? That's the only logical conclusion, right? I mean, if it was America, he'd be stuck in jail and there would be no way for him to bring a knife in. Unless he shoved it up his ass. No, because it's not that easy to smuggle a weapon like that in here. Every person who enters the courthouse doors is checked thoroughly for contraband. Furthermore, the suspect was handcuffed, making it impossible for him to bring in a knife as large as this inside. In that case, how do you suppose this knife ended up inside the courthouse? Oh. I need to think carefully here. There's nothing related to the knife written anywhere in Mr. Faraday's organizer. However, it is a fact that this knife came from Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. Conversely, there's one item listed in Mr. Faraday's organizer that no one has claimed to have seen today. Like the key thingy. In order to solve this mystery, I believe I will need to take another look at this evidence. Miles Edgeworth, can I take the fact that you have yet to answer to me? 1 second. Can I check this? Could that be... I feel like these connect somehow. I feel like the key and the knife are together. To mean that you don't have an answer for me? Actually, I do know the answer, Francisca. What? Then what is it? One of the pieces of evidence we've been holding has been hiding a secret of its own. And it was through this piece of evidence that the knife was brought into the courthouse. It's not the pen, but it's got to be the key. This key Mr. Faraday mentions in his organizer. This is how the knife was brought into the courthouse. You're not making any sense, Miles Edgeworth. You just need to look a bit closer, Francisca, to see what I mean. Don't the color and ornament of the key's handle remind you of anything? They do remind me of the knife. I bet you can switch it around and it'll the key will go down, but then a little blade will come out. Very good. Both the key in this photo and the murderous knife have this very unique design on their handles. Furthermore, even though Mr. Faraday mentions the key, the only object we found at the crime scene was the knife. You don't seriously mean to say? It appears that you finally caught up. And yes, I do mean to say that these two pieces are in fact one and the same. But that's impossible. Even if that is what you believe, we should still investigate this possibility. Now then, let us examine the knife in a little more detail. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's a weapon that was used to kill Mr. Faraday. The handle and the blade itself both have a beautiful design worked into them. Look, there's even a flower-shaped design in the gold section here. If that hadn't be used as a tool for murder, I'd want it for myself. She seems to be drawn to the embellishments. Too bad this isn't mine to give. Can I press the little button? Can I really not, like... Oh, wait. Right there. Super hyper... Oh my god, that's even more different than I can't even believe. What? I thought it was just gonna be like a little swivel, like a switchblade type shit. Oh my god. I can't believe it turned into a key. To think there was such a trick to this thing. So the weapon used to kill Mr. Faraday is actually the key the Yata Garasu stole. Whatever, fuck it. I'm just going back to Great Thief. I don't even know why I try. This piece of information is more critical than anything we've learned up until now. Frankly, I'm shocked. Mr. Faraday only mentioned the key aspect of this piece of evidence in his organizer. It's possible that even he had no idea that the key was hiding a blade inside. But if that's true, then only someone who knew about the key to knife trick could have killed Mr. Faraday. Even among law enforcement, this key was top secret. We're looking for someone who knew even more about the key than even Mr. Faraday. Meaning that only one person it could be is the one who sent the key in the first place. The Great Thief himself. And maybe Mr. Rel really was the Great Thief. And he was the one who killed Mr. Faraday. Isn't that one possible scenario? No, not really, especially since Mr. Faraday was absolutely convinced that Mr. Rel was not the Great Thief. Besides, as Detective Bat said earlier. But when we questioned Rel about what was sent along with the white card, Rel had no idea what it was. I see. Alright then, I guess that one, the person who knows the trick behind this key, is someone else, and that person's the real Great Thief. It seems that this key is truly the key to solving this case. Wonderful. This gun, it was originally used to kill the embassy staff member. When the crime was reported, the responding police found Mr. Rel still holding it, which led to his immediate arrest. And then this gun took the original shooter's life. How ironic. Indeed. There doesn't seem to be anything else we can learn from this piece of evidence. It's odd. We're short one piece of evidence. And the piece that's missing is the surveillance video that's played in court. The surveillance video? How could a piece of evidence just disappear? Where did it go? The video showing the moment in which Mr. Rel committed the murder. Where could it have gone indeed? Are you done with your inspection of the evidence? Yes, I'm finished. However, Your Honor, I'm missing a single piece of prosecutorial evidence. Your Honor, were you derelict in your duties? What? No! I dare not lick my duties. What do you take me for? No, Your Honor, the most important piece of evidence in today's trial. The surveillance video is not amongst the evidence you laid out for me. Huh. But I brought Mr. Faraday's whole bag with me from the crime scene. Maybe the tape is still somewhere at the crime scene. It was in the TV. There's something wrong here. Something about this missing piece of evidence. It was 100% in the TV. That's why it came on. It appeared that for me, the answer is I see. I will have to pay another visit to the scene of the crime, defendant lobby number 2. Oh my god, it's what's its face. That's Detective Bad, but who is he with? I've never seen that officer before. So, did you find it? Nah, not yet. I've looked everywhere. Let's see. Hold on. Please continue with the search. Understood. I'll continue the search. So you're the one running this show. Prosecutors like you shouldn't even be allowed at crime scenes. How dare you? Just who do you think you are? Good talk. What was that all about, and who was that man just now? Whoever he was, I've never seen a more impudent officer in my life. Detective Bad. What are you hiding? Does he even know we're standing right behind him? Yeah, he has a mirror. I know you're standing right behind me. What do you want, kids? It looks like you were paying attention after all. Of course I was. Oh god. I have eyes in the back of my head. Oh, so the mirror isn't for vanity's sake. It's for him to keep an eye out on who or what is behind him at all times. So, Detective Bad, just who was that rude man just now? The guy came here from the Republic of Zangfa to study. He's Agent Lang. He's trying everything he can to revive the lost honor of his family. Yeah, because, you know, prosecutors mean. He's traveling the world to study different philosophies of detainment from scratch. By visiting various police departments around the world, he has a lot of dedication. He's still just a rookie cop, but I sense a strong grudge of some sort from him. The guy's more useful than Gumshoe, even if he is rude. Well, he sure has a lot of guts to come to this country and give prosecutors a hard time. I agree. However, I can think of one young lady that statement also applies to. Anyway, what was that agent looking for Detective Bad? Earlier, that little girl was poking around in lobby number 1 as well. Like I said before, it's got nothing to do with the two of you. I highly doubt that it has nothing to do with me. Fine, if this is the game I must play, then I will take this opportunity to draw out what he's been hiding for what happened in this room straight from him. Give me this. This is one tiny TV. Open up the VCR. Detective Gumshoe was rather shocked at this, and it said it was huge compared to his own. Anything you compare with something he owns will always seem grandiose. Speaking of grandiose, I'd say the ego of yours could use a little deflating. No, open it! The tape is in there! Wait, can I go over here? Anything here? The cell vision is the same one as the defendant lobby number 2. Looks like the two rooms are basically the same in terms of supplies and equipment. Two rooms are basically the same. And they've mentioned that too many times. Fine, I'll talk to him. Earlier you were in lobby number 1, and now you're here in lobby 2. You're quite the busy man, Detective Bad. Multiple returns to a crime scene brings about success. That's what we detectives say. Now see, in that case, you wouldn't mind if I asked about what happened again, correct? I don't have anything left to say to you, boy. Boy, you'll see, and I will draw my answer from you, one way or another. Don't call me boy. Would it kill you to help us even a tiny bit in our investigation? I gave Faraday's notebook to the judge earlier. That's help enough, don't you think? Please, we're asking you for just a bit more of your cooperation. Don't push me, kid. I'd like to ask once again about what happened around here at the time of the crime. I refuse to answer. Any more investigating you do would be a waste of time. Besides, how am I supposed to answer questions about things I don't know about? Things you don't know about, but aren't you supposed to know everything? You should. Wait, is it possible? Maybe he doesn't know about the trick behind that piece of evidence. I should try showing it to him. It may prove to be the key to getting some answers from Detective Bad. I was going to. Calm down. Calm down. Detective Bad, did you know of the existence of the item in this photograph? Of course I did. It's my job to know everything related to the Great Thief case. In that case, let me ask you something. Did you know that the knife that killed Mr. Faraday and this key are one and the same? What? That's impossible. Looks like you didn't know after all. This piece of evidence, which we call the key, is actually a well-camouflaged knife. Mr. Faraday was planning to use this key to prove that Mr. Rell was not the real Great Thief. Isn't that correct? I guess so. However, Mr. Faraday had no idea that it was, in fact, a knife. Yeah, I have to admit, neither of us knew that fact. And if neither of us knew, then no one in the law enforcement knew either. How did we miss something as big as this? I noticed that since a little while ago, you appear to be searching for something. I presume that this key is what you were searching for? Yeah, that's right. And why were you searching for it? Because I promised Faraday. I promised that I'd protect that key with my life. But after he was killed, the key disappeared from Faraday's evidence bag. Who would have thought that the key is what took Faraday's life? Detective Bad. So that we may find the truth, please testify for me once more. Alright. It doesn't matter how many times I tell you about what happened. Nothing will change. Give me the time of the murder. Detective Bad, I ask that you please testify once more about what happened in lobby number 2 and what you experienced in lobby number 1. My answer's still the same. And this is the last time I'm going to do this. That's fine, because I only need this one last time to clear everything up. And to find the truth behind this case. Detective Bad's movements. I was in lobby number 1 talking with you. We were talking about some trivial things. I heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to reconvene. When we heard it, you and I immediately dashed out into the hallway together. I saw Gumshoe goofing around there, and we all ran in lobby number 2. Sounds like the exact same story you told us before. Indeed, however, I feel that we have yet to draw out all the information that we can. His movements. Talking with you. Or some trivial things. I was hoping you could expand on what exactly you were discussing with Miss Yu. Trivial stuff. There's nothing important. That's for me to decide. Alright, I suppose that's for him to decide. Moving on then. Until you heard the gunshot, did you notice anything else that was out of the ordinary? It was the tape. Ah, the tape. That's what the gunshot noise was. In the TV. Dude was already dead by then. I don't know how long he'd been dead, but they'd already been dead. I didn't hear anything other strange sounds till that gunshot. If the gunshot Detective Bad heard was really the one from the murder, that would give that other piece of evidence an entirely different meaning. I ask that you please amend your testimony with that statement just now. Sure. Struggle. Bodies. Faraday died of a knife stab. The shock instantly died. He's alive a little while. Can I present this? No, fuck. Because I was gonna say, like, oh, dude, if like dude really like died, or like you heard a gunshot, you would have noticed the dude was alive. I'll press on it again. Again, I immediately dash down to the hallway. The detective bad, you honestly don't remember hearing anything else? Yeah. Is it possible you were so involved in your conversation that you missed something? I've been a detective for a long time, and even if I were involved in something, I've got quite the habit of keeping tabs on everything that goes on around me. If there had been some other strange sound, you can be sure I would have heard it. I suppose with this detective, that's probably very likely. So the gunshot. Try presenting... Fuck, do I really not? It's not... Faraday's notebook, I guess. Sound of a handgun going off. Superb clarity. Let's try this. God damn it. And how will you do that? Because I can't see how. Fuck my asshole. That's what he heard! God! Let me just fucking skip 8 steps. Fuck me. Can't keep this up. I'll keep losing. With this tactic. And why did the two of you dash out into the hallway straight away? Because we clearly heard the sound of a gunshot. And we knew it came from somewhere nearby. And how did you know that was a gunshot? My line of work, you hear enough of them to know. I suppose it's only natural for a detective to know what a real gunshot sounds like. But given the circumstances, the only person I could think of whose life would have been in danger was Faraday. That's why I ran out into the hallway right away and headed there, where he was. The balloon. Let's try that. You didn't hear a balloon popping? Thank you. Fuck! And I needed the other thing that he said. Detective Bad, does this balloon fragment remind you of anything? It's the same color as the one Kay was holding. Oh, so you knew about that girl's balloon? Yeah. I was sitting with her up in the gallery. During the recess, just before we split up. I filled that balloon up for her. Well, well, as you may have already surmised, this piece did end up come from Kay's balloon. So what about the balloon? I wonder if you might remember hearing this balloon pop at some point. What are you getting at? Oh, someone wasn't paying attention. This fragment was found in the hallway right in front of lobby number 2. Furthermore, it was the sound of this balloon popping that made the judge mistook for a gunshot. Oh? So the sound that the judge heard was not actually a gunshot, huh? On top of that, his honor said that he heard the balloon pop about 20 minutes before the trial was to reconvene. Yes, which means that his honor heard the balloon pop in the hallway. When you were in the lobby number 1, Detective Bad, and if you were in lobby number 1 at that time, you were close enough that you should have heard the balloon popping as well. So? What? Don't give me a so. We just proved that there's a flaw in your testimony. The crackling of the truth is louder than the sound of your sweet naivete cracking. And since you kids don't seem to know, let me fill you in on something. Did you ever stop to think why the doors and walls of this place seem so rugged? That's because they were designed to keep secrets from being leaked. What is that supposed to mean? The doors and walls are super thick. The window panes are double layered. The windows are open. Fuck. That actually just proves the point. And to top it all off, even the curtains are made of a special sound-absorbent material. Then you mean... Since I was shut up inside lobby number 1, there was no way I could have heard that sound. No. Okay. I knew that's why he was going to say. And that means that Scruffface's testimony is completely useless. If the rooms are soundproof, then of course he wouldn't hear any sign of a struggle. Ugh. It's also why it's only natural that I didn't hear the balloon popping. Now, do you get it, kids? Miles, I thought we were supposed to be the ones finding flaws in his logic. Not the other way around. The other way around? It's not possible to hear the sound of a balloon popping if one were in lobby number 1. However, if we examine the situation in reverse, the person standing in the hallway should not be able to hear the real gunshot either. Yet Detective Gumshoe claims to have heard it while he was standing in the hallway. Detective Bad. If that is the case, how exactly did he hear the gunshot? What do you mean, how? I just did. It would appear that you have yet to realize the contradiction in your own words. Oh? Oh, so. If it's fucking soundproof, you dipshit, it wouldn't make a sound. If the rooms are as soundproof as you say they are, then how did the sound of a gunshot enter your ears? I see what you mean. Guess I'm more out of it from Faraday's murder than I had thought. Which means what exactly, Miles? In the end, what does it all boil down to? These windows were open. It boils down to this. There must be a reason. The windows were open so they would hear a gunshot and go out into the hallway and know the dude had actually been murdered. You did it, obviously. As to how Detectives Bad and Gumshoe heard a gunshot, they theoretically couldn't have. It looks like we need to examine the state of the crime scene again, huh? The state of the crime scene. Wait, can it be? It's that ultra strong perfume you wears. She spilled some of it. Thank you. Yes. Wow. Way too noisy. It's all coming together. The surveillance video. How could a piece of evidence just disappear? Where did it go? Yes, all of it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. All of it together. Very loud. Missing TV. Connect. Fuck! Wrong order. Not exactly a shining example of the perfect line of logic. Wrong order. Fuck. The scent of flowers in the air, dissipating the smell. These were connected. For sure. 100%. Simply not possible for the killer to have escaped through the barred windows. And yet the fragrance of perfume managed to escape from defendant lobby number 1. Of course, incorporeal things can move freely through these open barred windows. Which means sound can go through these open windows. And what was playing on the TV was the evidence. I knew it. Now then, what else besides a smell can go both in and out of an open barred window? The answer is sound. So no matter how careful the killer was, if the windows were open, the jig would be up. And since the windows in both lobby number 1 and the hallway were open, that explains how the sound of a gunshot could be heard in both locations. Missing evidence and a gunshot could be heard. 9 head ideas here. The missing piece of evidence is a video that shows the murder moment in which Mr. Rell killed this embassy staff member. The sound of the gunshot left quite an impression on me when I was playing during the trial. The video should have been returned to Mr. Faraday's evidence bag for the recess and brought back here. If it disappeared after that time, then it's possible that the tape is still here in this room. Eureka! The evidence that the missing evidence created for me is the gunshot sound that no one should have been able to hear in the first place. Miles, what have you been thinking about? I've been thinking about how fucking big-brained I am.